Magician Recaps explains here. Welcome to the Badlands, where 7 barons rule, each with a loyal army of lethal martial art fighters named Clippers. Guns and other technology like cell phones don't exist in this futuristic and dystopian world. Let's start our story for the episode 1 of season 1. The episode begins with Clipper called Sonny, riding on his motorcycle through fields of poppies. He comes across a wretched truck and a murdered transport of cogs, which means slaves that belong to his baron, Quinn. He realizes one person might still be alive, as their ankle chain is broken. He comes across nomads, made up of 11 men, including the leader. Did you notice how I said there were 11 men, because Sonny beat the hell out of them in 2-minute battle? Of course I timed that too. That was barely a contest after the leader refused to answer his questions, especially about what was in a trunk. After opening the trunk up, a teenage boy named MK pops up. After making MK bury the cogs, Sonny decides to take MK to his baron's fort. MK prefers that Sonny let him go, but Sonny wasn't having it. They arrive at the baron's house, and Sonny shows MK around the barracks, where potential colts, that's Clippers in training practice. MK doesn't want to become a colt, and doesn't look too impressed. We finally meet Quinn, as he provides a powerful speech to the new recruits. Sounding like a southern preacher, Baron Quinn excites his new charges to want to serve him loyally, especially after telling Sonny's story. Sonny, who made his first kill at 8 years old, is the strongest Clipper in the land, with the most kills at 404. He shows the boys his back, which is filled with marks that represent each kill. He even needs to start adding marks onto his arms, for the rate he's going racking up that body count. After the meeting, Quinn questions MK about why the widow would be interested in him, but MK doesn't know, and have any idea. Quinn orders Sonny to put MK in with the recruits. Ryder, Baron Quinn's son, approaches, not appreciating his father's interference with the nomads. After finding out about the widow, Ryder thinks they should take her out now, especially since she has the lead in the oil that runs the factories that process the poppies. Ryder thinks that not retaliating against her will make them appear weak. Sonny cautions that they could make the other 5 barons go to war on them, and Quinn agrees with Sonny. Meanwhile, MK is immediately picked on by one of the potential colts, Ajax, who takes off his pendant. He tries to get it back, but Sonny has to break up the fight. Sonny takes the pendant and walks away. Ryder watched the scene from the top of the pit area. One of the other boys, Bale, gives MK the tactics about Ajax picking fights to impress the Clippers. He offers MK to watch his back if it's reciprocated. We see Quinn talking with his wife, Lydia, about his upcoming wedding to a younger woman named Jade. 3 barons have already turned down the invitations, which seems to show they aren't happy that Quinn is marrying a cog. She also reveals that Quinn needs to give his son more responsibility, but unfortunately, Quinn lacks confidence in Ryder. Even though he has trained him, Lydia warns him to not underrate Ryder, especially considering the sacrifices he has made. When Sonny goes to his house, and looks at a compass with the same symbol as the pendant, brief flashback to when he was a little boy, and sees another kid dead with his throat cut. Just then, Ryder barges in, and pleads his case again about moving against the widow. Sonny doesn't budge on his stance. Ryder mentions his concern that Quinn is enacting himself with the headaches by agreeing with Sonny's opinions all the time. After getting nowhere with Sonny, Ryder leaves taking the pendant after Sonny denies seeing the symbol before. We meet Jade briefly, as she takes a walk with the Baron, while Lydia watching from far away. Ryder approaches sympathetically that his mom may be hurting about seeing Jade with Quinn. Lydia reassures her son that she's confident that the Baron will always need her, and that she has his head and heart while Jade can have his lower body. In the night, Sonny cuddles with his girlfriend Vale. She unfortunately ruins the mood by telling him that she's pregnant. Sonny's reaction isn't the greatest and tells her that she needs to get rid of it, because it's against the rules. Vale attempts to get him to tell her how he really feels about the baby. She wants to get out of the Badlands, but Sonny knows that Quinn would come after them, and kill them if they try. He also denies that there's land outside of the Badlands. Vale still thinks they're as good as Sonny, and that they will figure out a way. Sonny leaves to go get more marks, and ruminate. Now we get back to the barracks. Ajax makes the mistake of going after MK again in the bathroom. For his efforts, Ajax but got handed to him when MK, whose eyes turned a possessive demonic black, injures Ajax to the point where he gets a shard of glasses in his eye, and he collapses. Sonny witnesses the last part and takes MK to his house. Wondering what the hell just happened, he figures now he knows why the widow wants MK. Apparently since he was a kid, when MK sees his own blood, he turns into a fighting machine. His mother was trying to get him to a healer that could fix him, but they were separated by nomads. MK has been trying to find his mom ever since. When Sonny shows him the watch, MK says that the symbol is his home, Ozra, which is conveniently outside of the Badlands. Unfortunately, it's been so long that he doesn't know how to find Ozra now. Sonny lets MK know that Ryder has his pendant, and to not be stupid trying to get it back. Sonny goes back to Vale's house, but changes his mind, and he gets ambushed by the widow's men. In another beautifully choreographed fight sequence, Sonny passionately adds 4 more bodies to his kill count. After seeing Sonny's handiwork, the widow comes out of the car Sonny was fighting around. She tries to get Sonny to give her MK, but leaves when he refuses. She does leaves an open offer for him should he change his mind. MK gets put in a cage, after not heeding Sonny's warning, and trying to take the pendant back from Ryder, but gets caught his room. He plans to execute the kid after talking about it with his mom. Sonny helps MK escape. Unfortunately, Lydia sees the deed. Quinn asks Sonny to move in one of the cottages that's closer to the house. Sonny reluctantly agrees to do so in the morning. The Baron knows that the other Barons are coming after him, so he wants to defend his home with Sonny. Ryder will definitely not be happy about this, although he may not mind as much after having sex with Jade secretly. We see the widow discover a former regent of hers named Teague in a dive. She tells Teague of her plans to go after Quinn, so the other Barons will acknowledge and follow her lead. Ryder sends assassins after her. Minvers shows us why she goes by the name Widow. Something tells me we are going to see an awesome fight sequence within the first 5 minutes of each episode. I counted roughly 7 nomads that the widow took down with her knife slicing and dicing. Being a hired nomad is not the best job right now. The last one tells her before getting a heel puncture in the neck that Ryder hired them. MK finds himself on Widowlands and runs into one of her daughters. Impulsively she takes him to the house and introduces him to her mother. On a side note, I want ninja stars shaped like butterflies. Meanwhile, Ryder and Sonny manage track him into the widow's territory. Ryder wants to continue on to find and question MK, but Sonny doesn't want to, because taking the Clipper force into Widow lands will be considered an act of war, even if the reason is for finding a runaway. At breakfast, Sonny and Ryder report where MK has gone. Ryder shows Quinn the necklace MK was trying to take back, and learns that it belonged to MK's mother. Sonny again denies seeing anything like it when the Baron asks. Quinn is already suspicious there is a traitor in their midst. Also, Quinn knows someone hired nomads to try to kill the widow. Ryder denies it was him when asked. Awkwardness is afoot when MK has to undress in front of Tilda after she draws his bath. She claims Mama told her he couldn't stay out of her sight. Of course, Tilda takes a peek at what's between MK's leg. The widow creeps out MK when she suddenly appears and starts washing his back. She wonders if he's the boy she has been looking for with powers. MK claims there's nothing special about him, since his family were tobacco farmers. Quinn and Sonny go outside the fort without an escort. We get a little more background on Quinn. When he was a kid, Quinn approached his Baron about becoming a Clipper after seeing his father, a cog, get punched to death after being accused of stealing extra food. Quinn killed the biggest cult boy in the pit. Quinn felt very alive when he made that kill. Seriously, that should have been a clue that things were about to get crazy. The widow said a very interesting quote while meeting with Nomad leader, Hud. The appearance of weakness is the greatest advantage. She offers territory if the leader helps her with overthrowing the Baron Quinn. Hud scoffs at the idea that her and her girls would help provide the advantage. The widow has Tilda fight with one of the leader's fighters. Tilda wins, of course. It wasn't even a contest. Sonny and Quinn stop by Dr. Vernon's house. We learn that Vernon and his wife, Hannah, adopted Vale when she was an infant. Hannah knows about Vale's pregnancy. As Quinn is getting examined, Sonny tries to talk Hannah into convincing Vale it's dangerous to be pregnant, but to no avail. Quinn discovers that he has a tumor that's incurable. Sonny shows some defiance when Quinn asks him to clip the doc and Hannah. So Quinn does it himself using Sonny's sword? He then demands that Sonny burn the place down. The look on Sonny's face as Quinn walked away seemed resolved. His Baron is losing it. It's time to go. After that, we can't blame Sonny for going to have a drink with Waldo, before going to see Vale. Sonny probes Waldo about potentially escaping the Badlands. Waldo, who appears to be a retired clipper, gives Sonny a reality check about trying to leave. The widow asks her daughter to fight MK, and draw blood to see if he is the boy she's looking for. She at least warns her daughter that MK could become dangerous once his powers are provoked. When MK is brought before the widow, he declines her order that Tilda train him. MK pleads with Tilda as she's trying to fight him, that he was telling the truth about why he was in the woods. Instinctively, Tilda cuts herself, and puts her blood on his face, so the widow is fooled when MK doesn't react to the blood. Sonny admits to Vale that Quinn killed her parents. He guessed that the reason was because he was dying, and paranoid of enemies finding out. But Quinn was really naive if he thought word spreading about killing the doc would not make people think something was up with him. Because of this recent event, Sonny confirms to Vale he now wants to get out of the Badlands. Ryder, whose right foot looks jacked up with missing toes, finds out from the prostitute he visits that the nomads have a supply of his father's opium stashed in a turbine station. Yeah, that doesn't smell like a setup at all, especially when the woman seemed to signal another by hanging a red piece of clothing. MK enlists Tilda's help in trying to leave the widow's fort. She tries to help him, and just tells her mom's business about why she's looking for a boy with powers. When he asks why she was trying to cut him, she kisses him as a way of distraction when the widow walks in with her allied nomad leader. The widow asks MK to leave. After seeing that kiss, Hud offers to take MK with him knowing there's a bounty on him. Remember the woman that was watching for a signal? Well, she is one of the widow's daughters informing her mother that Ryder took the bait. Sucker Ryder. Ryder and Sonny go on a scouting mission, and get ambushed at the station after conferring with Quinn. Sonny has to rescue Ryder after he is hanged by chains, and surrounded by the Baron's men. The kill count this time is like 20 to 30 men. We were getting serious Kill Bill vibes during that fight scene, which was still just fun, and gorgeous to watch. I was disappointed though that I didn't get to see Ryder fight at all. Guess that was the worst tease ever. Hud conveniently stored MK at the station. Fortunately, MK had one of Tilda's butterfly ninjas, and he was able to escape. He even managed to help Sonny save Ryder by killing Hud. As Ryder is still knocked out, Sonny and MK form a partnership. Sonny will train the boy as his colt, and when he has enough control of his powers, they will make an escape out of the Badlands, with pregnant Vale in tow. Sonny then reports to Quinn what happened at the station, the widow's plans, and how MK helped. He almost kills MK, but Sonny informs Quinn about wanting Sonny as his colt. Quinn declares he will be watching MK, especially since this would be the first time Sonny has decided to train a colt. Baron Quinn sends a group of clippers to the widow's house to take her out. MK is on his first mission as a colt, so he and other boys are assigned as lookouts. The widow and her daughters manage and try to escape, but not before Quinn and the widow go for round one for us. Although Widow got lucky this round, if it wasn't for the headache that came upon Quinn, as he was about to do the death blow, our beloved widow would be dead by now. Then Sonny also interrupted the widow when she was about to deliver her final blow. Meanwhile, MK slipped on his first job as lookout when he sneaks away, and goes to get the book on Ozra. As he is in the room, he sees Tilda escape with the rest of the girls. They share a look before she goes into a tunnel behind a bookshelf. Ryder is still not awake after being hanged in last episode. Lydia holds vigil by Ryder's bedside along with Jade. Lydia intentionally throws shade at Jade, and wants her to leave, calling her a distraction for Quinn to feed his ego. Jade at least tries to be respectful, even though I'm sure she wants to say something just as mean. Suddenly, a maid comes in with news that Quinn is back from the raid. Lydia takes out her frustration out on Quinn too, since the widow got away. Her instincts are telling her something is wrong, since Ryder is barely breathing, and he is still not awake yet. Quinn and Lydia argue some more about the fact that now they are at war, and it wasn't too pretty last time they were in this position. Quinn does bring up that he didn't want to appear weak because of Ryder's actions. To mess with Lydia some more, he goes into his room where Jade is waiting, and has sex with her, as Lydia listens in Ryder's room. MK later then gives the Ozra book to Sonny. Fortunately, Sonny was able to hide the book before anyone saw him. MKE's training officially begins when Sonny first tries to get him to balance himself on the ledge above the cold training grounds. He is pushed off by Sonny when he thinks what he is doing is nonsense. Sonny then takes him to the gate, overlooking the poppy fields. MK wants Sonny to teach him how to fight so he can defend himself while trying to leave. Sonny takes him to see Waldo, who proceeds to help Sonny teach the kid a lesson about appearances. The deal: Sonny will teach MK how he wants if he lands a blow against Waldo. MK then proceeds to getting his butt whooped by an old man. I know and learn that don't underestimate someone just because they are in a wheelchair. While Quinn is cuddling with Jade, she brings up that she wants to help get Ryder better. Jade knows that Lydia won't go for a cog doctor working on her son, and that it was Jade's idea. Quinn is like, Lydia would get over it if Jade is able to help his son. So who does Jade want to help Ryder? None other than Vale, whose parents were just killed by the Baron not too long ago. Meanwhile, Jade and Vale grew up together, so I guess Jade thought that Vale would just jump at the chance to help her out given their history. Vale initially resists, but winds up going to the house anyway to help. She figures out that Ryder has some swelling in the brain, and proceeds to crack his skull to relieve the pressure with a trepanation device. Lydia initially freaks out but assists Vale with Jade in holding Ryder's head while the procedure is done. The Baron comes in just as Vale is cleaning up and leaving. He has the nerve to be all sympathetic about her parents, and lies about trying to find the people that killed them. And he knows that Sonny has a relationship with her. Quinn thanks her and wants to do something to repay her for her services. Sorry actually, but the way Quinn was talking to her was creeping me out. Ryder wakes up just as Vale was trying to leave. Quinn asks Ryder who set him up. The widow and her butterflies find sanctuary in an old dilapidated house. Tilda is assigned to fetch Angelica at the dollhouse, because the widow knows that Sonny will go after her. First, Sonny goes to see his friend Ringo to see if he heard anything about the widow's whereabouts. Ringo notices that Sonny hasn't been by to add marks lately. Sonny tells him that he no longer cares about keeping count anymore of his kills. Sonny then is back at the Baron's house, and is shocked to see Vale there. She tells him that she had no choice, and leaves. Now that Sonny has been brought up to speed, Quinn wants Angelica alive so she could lead them to the widow. The widow's instincts were right because Sonny did go after Angelica after Quinn questioned Ryder. MK is tasked to try to block her exit from the second floor. MK thinks it would be better to try to cut off her escape from the ground floor. Tilda comes around the same time, and sees MK at watch. She confronts him about trusting him, and he tells her he was scared, so he lied. She knows that her mom is just as bad as the Baron in wanting to use him. As they are arguing, Sonny tries to capture Angelica alive. In fact, I have to give it to Angelica, she was able to land a good blow on Sonny. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that she was only able to go toe-to-toe with Sonny, because he wasn't trying to kill her. After a little high-flying jumps across buildings, Angelica sacrifices herself by jumping off the balcony, so Sonny is not able to find the widow. Loyal to the end, I guess. MK lets Tilda escape so she is not in Sonny's clutches. She reports to her mother about Angelica's fate. The widow asks about the book MK now has, but Tilda tells her mother she didn't notice it in the library as she was leaving. Sonny goes to Vale to get stitched up. MK figures out that she is the one Sonny wants to protect. Sonny tells the boy to not touch anything while he gets fixed by Vale, but MK doesn't listen and proceeds to touch a book that Vale is reading. Vale learns that MK is Sonny's colt, and the plan to leave is still on. She teases that he's good practice on what's to come when MK interrupts and asks about making dolls, and the ability to read. She does warn Sonny that Quinn knows about them, and that she has to keep going to the house until Ryder has recovered. Sonny regrets trying to save Ryder. Before Lydia tells Ryder that she no longer supports him, we learn that he was kidnapped by nomads. He came back on his own after being gone for 73 days. Lydia tended to his wounds, especially his foot when it was damaged. At least we have an idea of why his foot looks jacked up. She was really hoping that Ryder would be like his father, but he's not. His actions caused repercussions, and she regrets defending him. Lydia also now thinks that Ryder would not make a good Baron. Ryder is understandably upset because he literally has none of his family's support. I felt bad for him for a little bit because that's like a low blow when recovering from a head injury, even if he directly caused himself to get injured. Baron Quinn and Sonny meet in his office. Now that Quinn has taken over the widow's oil fields, the other barons view him in violation of the Foundation Treaty. They want to parley, but he knows that it's a trap. He wants to try to make an alliance with one that hates him less. Sonny suggests Jacoby? Quinn wants to be subtle, and wants Sonny to meet with Zypher, Jacoby's regent, since they have a history, and rekindle their relationship. Sonny reluctantly agrees. Later that evening, Sonny meets with Zypher. Zypher lays it out there that Quinn has been making all kinds of mistakes lately. Even refusing to meet the other barons in a parley is a mistake. She suggests that Sonny kill the Baron, and everyone wins. The other barons would split the oil fields and acknowledge him. Sonny of course is still loyal to Quinn. He tells her that Quinn wants to meet with Jacoby. She wants to rekindle their romance, so she could be more persuasive with Jacoby, but Sonny doesn't fall for it. Cypher figures that Sonny's is sweet on someone, and believes he is naive, especially if Quinn finds about it. She does agree though to ask Jacoby to meet with Quinn to discuss a potential alliance. Like both Cypher and Sonny, I am not holding my breath. They leave with Cypher's offer to help Sonny in more ways than one still on the table, and for him to seriously consider it. When Sonny leaves, MK sneaks into his room to get the book, then goes to visit Vale. He tripped me out rolling up in there, then proceeds to eat her food. He's hoping that she could read the book for him. Unfortunately, she doesn't recognize the language it's written in. He hides when the Baron comes to see her. He wants her to cure him of his tumor. Again, his approach is just creepy. Hopefully MK can't stay hidden long enough. We begin the episode by putting the widow's words into practice. The appearance of weakness is the greatest advantage. Tilda, looking all pitiful with a dirted shift and some blood on her face, stops a car in the middle of a road in the woods. As she looks submissive, two guys get out of the car and get butterflied by two ninja stars. The widow and her girls come out of hiding to see what the transport contains. They hit the jackpot with cases full of gold. The widow then has one of Quinn's men clipped to take the fall for the robbery. In the fourth, Sonny and MK train on top of the Baron's gate, overlooking the poppy field. The kid shocks Sonny with a move he knows by instinct. Sonny informs him that he's improving, but his moves are still predictable. They are then interrupted by the Baron, who has been looking for Sonny. MK leaves, so Quinn and Sonny can discuss grown-up business. Sonny denies knowing what the widow wanted with MK, and asks if Quinn has heard from Jacoby about the parley. Quinn hasn't heard from Jacoby but knows that Jacoby, and all of the other barons, are hating that he took over the widow's oil fields. Sonny gives Quinn reassurance that their clipper numbers are greater than the other barons, and that he has his back. Quinn is right to be worried, as we see later. This scene had definite foreshadowing. In a brief scene that was filled with innocence and fun, the butterflies are cleaning a room when one of the girls plays a record from the record player. The pleasant surprise from all of the girls' faces makes you realize that it's been a very long time since anyone may have heard recorded music. Tilda and the other girls dance to the beat of the song when the widow ruins the mood by turning off the player and destroying the record. Tilda speaks up and asks why there is a rush to clean the house when there are no new recruits coming. The widow pulls Tilda aside into another room so Tilda can get some stuff off her chest. Tilda is wondering what is the point. The widow breaks it down for her by reminding her that she saved Tilda from her husband. She wants a safe place for Tilda and the rest of the butterflies, so they are not at the whim of men. That night, Sonny observes MK practicing, and sees him almost cut himself so he could use his powers. In the house, Jade is going over the gifts with Mari, the maid, and Lydia. Jade has decided not to incorporate the gifts into the ceremony, even though it's tradition. Her reasoning is the other barons won't be there, and because rivals don't deserve a place of honor in her ceremony. Jade wants to try to get along with Lydia, even going so far as to try to have Lydia see her as a daughter, instead of a rival wife. Lydia decides to drop some advice on Jade. Don't sleep with both Daddy and Sonny Boy at the same time. Drops Mike and leaves. Jade's expression was priceless, showing her secrets is out. Quinn has Vale visit him to give a prognosis. She also confirms that there is no cure, and that she didn't get a chance to learn more from her father before he died about tumors and growths. Shade, Vale, she Shade Baron. Vale tells Quinn that there is her father's concoction that they can try that may get rid of his growth. But the downside is it will weaken him. She can create it using her father's notes. The next day Sonny takes MK outside of Quinn's border to try to get him to control his power. Actually it didn't go so well, when Sonny gets knocked out by the move MK showed him the prior day. MK still collapses after defending himself. When both Sonny and MK wake up from their unexpected nap, Sonny thinks that there is a side of MK that he doesn't want to face, which is why he doesn't remember anything when he turns. Sonny suggests MK try to focus on something positive and pure. How sad that Sonny couldn't think of anything pure when MK asked. Back at the house, the head of the clipper the widow killed earlier is delivered to Quinn with the word "Parley" written on his head and a note in his mouth. Ryder reports that the clipper was patrolling a part of their borders but never checked in. Well, at least he had a good excuse as to why. The note is from Jacoby accusing Quinn of attacking one of his gold transports. Quinn guesses that the widow is behind it to threaten the potential alliance. Ryder, poor thing, thought it was a trap by Jacoby to pick a fight. Quinn wants Ryder to meet with Jacoby's men to agree to the parley, but at a closer location in his territory. Ryder thinks he doesn't need scraps, and Quinn giving him more responsibility is a scrap. For that belligerence, Quinn brings up Jade, knowing that Ryder was sweet on her. He even brings up how she tastes. I tell you, 1 minute you want to slap Ryder, then the next minute you want to slap Quinn, and yell at them. Imagine what the hell going on here. Quinn then gives some kind of advice, saying a man cannot wait to be given what he wants. He must take it. Using some reverse psychology, Quinn gets Ryder to go. MK goes to see Vale and asks about the book. She hasn't been able to interpret it. Sunny walks in and notices the book. MK thinks that the book can help them find a way out of the Badlands. Sunny gets upset because he was under the presumption that MK already knew a way out. MK leaves in a huff when Sunny gets in his face. Vale informs Sunny that she didn't know what the book could contain, or that MK was their way out. I guess doctor-patient confidentiality is out, because after Sunny tells her Quinn is leading them into war, she tells him about the tumor. She figures she can kill him sooner with the concoction, but Sunny points out that if Quinn dies, things will get worse with the other barons. So Sunny, what's the plan, man? Just allow her to kill him. Ryder meets with Zypher about the parley? Zypher got a few digs in about Ryder being Quinn's errand boy. Ryder manages to get the meeting closer at City of the Dead, Cross Bend at noon the following day. After that business is taken care of, he has a proposal of his own. We don't know the terms yet, because we switched to Sunny visiting Waldo. Waldo tries to convince Sunny that even if he gets across the river, the wastelands will kill him. However, after learning that Sunny is in love and expecting a baby, Waldo decides to help him out by giving him a toy soldier, which will grant Sunny an audience with the River King. Ryder starts taking his father's advice, and goes to Jade's room. Jade tries to convince Ryder that they are over, now that she's getting married to his father. Ryder then gets pissy about her abandoning him too, and she tries to reassure him that is not her intention. When Jade says that she can handle his mother, Ryder warns Jade that Lydia got rid of Beatrice, who used to be Quinn's second wife. Mari, the maid, confirms that a week before Beatrice died, Lydia was picking a monkswood flower that's used to help poison rats. Yikes. Somewhere in the fourth, MK is out at the training ground sulking when Sunny has the rest of the trainees line up for orders. He selects a small group as scouts for the upcoming parley, and totally disses MK. Sunny doesn't even explain, just walks away. MK stubbornly sneaks her anyway, which angers Sunny even more, especially since he embarrassed him in front of Quinn. Reluctantly, Sunny has MK act as lookout. We get to finally meet Jacoby. Quinn denies sabotaging Jacoby's gold transport, and explains to him that the widow's vendetta is personal and him taking the oil fields was for everyone's benefit, not just his yada yada yada. Jacoby doubts Quinn's intentions, and tells him that his father only aligned with him because of mutual interests, which may not be so mutual anymore. Tilda gets a major fight going by throwing an axe towards Quinn. Seriously though, I'm like that during every fight scene on this show. Back to the action, MK actually managed to be a lookout for once, since he prevents Quinn from getting killed, when Sunny was able to stop the axe. A fight ensues between Quinn and Jacoby's Clippers. Their regents, Zypher and Sunny, go at it for a few minutes. Quinn and Jacoby also trade a few licks. MK chases Tilda, and yells at her about the widow, while trying to catch her. She cuts him with her butterfly star, and that's when things go downhill. MK, with his black eyes, toyed with her for a few seconds before proceeding to choke her with one hand. She tries to talk to him to let her go, and can't believe it actually works. MK somehow hears her and snaps out of his trance, but then as usual collapses again. Sunny keeps having the best timing because he witnesses the choking, and MK collapsing, and you can see the wheels turning in his head as he saw it go down. He tries to catch Tilda, but she gets away by throwing another star. Sunny manages to stop Quinn from being double-teamed by Zypher and Jacoby, by throwing the star to Zypher and yelling this was the widow's doing. With the new evidence, Jacoby will delay the other barons but tells Quinn that he needs to deal with the widow quickly. After that disaster, Quinn, Sunny, and the others come home to devastation. The widow's been busy while Quinn was occupied with Jacoby. Loyal Mari told Sunny and Quinn what happened. The Clipper force has been killed, and the majority of the cogs went with the widow after she offered them gold. Quinn orders Sunny to find the widow so he can set an example of her across the Badlands by brutally killing her. Zypher takes Ryder to a secret location, and instead of meeting with Jacoby, he meets with the widow. I find it sad that everyone seems to know about Ryder's family issues. Anyhow, The widow wants to help both Cypher and Ryder become baron in their respective territories. In exchange, the widow wants MK, as she describes him as a boy that wears the pendant. Ryder agrees. After that look, Cypher and the widow gave each other. Sonny, using Waldo's toy soldier, gets to speak with the River King. The king thinks he can help him out, only because Waldo holds Sonny in high esteem. The River King shows Sonny one of his boats, where a massacre took place. The last person that died was able to identify the killer. Take a wild guess who it is. None other than our liver boy MK. The offer to Sonny, bring MK's head, and the River King will take Sonny and Vale to a place where they won't be found. And that Sonny wakes up from a chilling dream. It was about him confronting MK about the people he killed from the boat while practicing. MK tries to plead with him, but then turns the tables on him with his black eyes. Sonny then falls to his death only to wake up in bed with his girlfriend Vale. He looks at the book, and turns to the page that has a picture, and a black hole in it, that is round enough to fit a compass. Sonny takes the compass out and fits it into the book. It then spins, and lands in the northeast. Vale wakes up and asks about the compass. He tells her it's broken, but I don't know if he really believes that or not. Without going into too much detail, he informs Vale that the price for leaving may be steep. Sonny goes to the training area to get MK. He tells MK how he told him how he was able to briefly control his powers against Tilda. MK genuinely doesn't remember what happened since he blacked out. Sonny lets MK know that they will be going out hunting for the widow that day. Meanwhile, the widow is welcoming Quinn's former cogs. She pulls young boys aside for testing to see if they are the boys she's after. And now that the cogs are gone, Quinn is scrambling to figure out how to handle the harvest. Lydia thinks that letting the other barons know that the product will be less than previous years is a good idea. Jade butts into the conversation, suggesting that treating the cogs with respect and a little education would bring more loyalty. Quinn thinks that educating the cogs make them vulnerable for a revolution. Quinn agrees with Jade's suggestion of her training a small clipper force to help with the harvest, until fresh cogs arrive. Lydia is looking at Quinn like she can't believe that he would take Jade's advice over hers. Ryder moves around the clipper houses when he sees MK outside, and he gets nosy about what MK is up to. I would think that he would know that Sonny was about to hunt for the widow. As Ryder is turning to leave, MK asks about his pendant. Ryder lies and says he traded it. I guess Ryder was also too busy plotting to see his father have a severe headache attack, while trying to address the clippers about the upcoming harvest. While Lydia helped him back into the house, Quinn tells Jade to lead them. Jade tries to reassure everyone that their baron will be fine. Petrie and Bale, MK's friend, help him, and Sonny search for the widow in the woods. MK knows that Vale is pregnant and understands Sonny's reason for leaving the Badlands. They talk about Ozra. MK thought the widow's book would help. Sonny admits that the compass works in the book, and it pointed in a direction. At Widow's territory, Tilda fishes for information about what the widow will do when she finds the boy, which is MK. The widow thinks the book, which she was trying to translate, would help her train him, so he can control his powers. The widow also reveals that MK gets weaker every time he uses his powers, unless he can learn to control it. She has Tilda check their traps around their area. Well, now we know where Ryder disappeared to. After talking with MK, he visited Waldo, cryptically asking him would he still be loyal if things changed. Waldo likes to be on the winning side, but does caution Ryder to be careful of who he chooses as allies. Ryder also asks about the pendant. Waldo advises him to go to his grandfather, Preacher Penrith. The search for the widow continues in the woods, and Bale wants his first kill Tad. The boy will learn soon not to underestimate a butterfly. MK notices a butterfly star stuck on a tree. When Sonny throws him away from walking towards it, right there, MK was about to step. He puts a branch there, and a trap snaps. He then kicks a fairly high branch so leaves will fall. Several traps go off as the leaves fall in those places. Poor Petrie didn't get the quick memo because he got caught in one. I saw bone and it was gross. Jade teaches some of the clippers and their colts poppy harvesting 101. Lydia decides to join the party and help with the harvest. She insists when Jade tries to reject the offer. Meanwhile, Vale tends to Quinn by giving him a transfusion. She had a chance to poison the man, and she didn't take it, even when he implied that it was Sonny that really killed her parents because the audience knows he used Sonny's sword to do it. It's nighttime. Ryder finally makes it over to his granddad's place, which has a communal atmosphere. I don't blame Lydia for practically disowning her father. Ryder does mention to Penrith that his mother still practices their religion. Penrith tries to be subtle in getting Ryder to follow his footsteps. When asked about the pendant, He tells Ryder that Ozra is a folktale Cogs were told, so they feel better about themselves. He supposedly doesn't see any truth to the story. However, when Ryder leaves, he wants to round up his abbots to cleanse a dark one at the fort. Thanks Ryder, MK has yet another target on his back. Back at camp, Petrie gets his legs set by Sunny while MK takes the first watch. How convenient, because Tilda approaches him later when everyone's asleep. She tries to warn him about her mother being suspicious of him. Ah, how sweet. They also discuss him not killing her in his black-eyed state. He realizes that she is his anchor. Tilda also mentions to MK to not use his power so much because otherwise he may die. They get interrupted by Sunny, who wonders how long they've been cozy. Tilda gets tied up and briefly questioned by Sunny about the location of her mother. Bale and Petrie wake up by this point. Bale tries his hand at interrogating and gets in Tilda's face. He gets his ear torn off for his efforts. He probably went over the top by calling her the B word. No one had sympathy for him. Not even his clipper Petrie. I chuckled at that because Petrie shook his head like he was saying the boy needs to learn. Lydia opens up to Jade as she is getting ointment on her hands. She admits it is not easy feeling like she is not enough for Quinn. The widow and a butterfly finds a part of Tilda's robes and a dagger. She's going to get Tilda back? She needs Ryder's help getting into the dungeons. Quinn wakes up from a nap and finds Lydia sitting next to him. She reminisces about when she first met him. She reaffirms her loyalty and that it will always be her and Quinn. Yep, she doesn't want to be rivals with Jade at all. Game on, guys. Sunny enters and Lydia leaves. Sunny reports that he has Tilda and Quinn wants him to do what's necessary to get the widow's location. As Sunny was leaving, Quinn ordered Sunny not to see Vale anymore, after Sunny lies about the seriousness of his relationship with her. The look Sunny gave was like, excuse me, did I hear you right? Sunny goes into the dungeons and straps Tilda into a chair. Sunny appeared to not want to torture her if he didn't have to. Bale is still 2 steps behind when he doesn't understand why MK doesn't want Tilda tortured. Back at the house, Jade brings Quinn some soup she made. They discuss how Lydia pitched in, and how he noticed her when she was 16 serving him soup. Ooh. Suddenly Jade collapses, and Quinn calls for help. What happened to Jade? Did she inadvertently get poisoned like Beatrice? The moment has finally arrived. Back at the dungeons, MK tries to plead with Tilda to give the widow up. Tilda refuses because Quinn will kill her anyway. Bale steps his foot in it again when he is attacked. It's the widow. I love how she's all maternal when she tells her,
"Don't worry, Tilda. Mother's here."
Sunny appears from behind the doorway, and the fight I've been waiting for begins. Sunny is determined that the widow will be captured. While the adults go at it, MK opens up the dungeon door and starts unstrapping Tilda from the chair. Bale comes behind him and knocks him out. But Tilda is loose enough that she starts defending herself. How did the widow hide the swords she first fought Sunny with? The widow can't seem to land a blow against Sunny, and gets thrown through a loose brick wall. The room she falls into happens to be a weapons room. There's a lot of defensive maneuvering for both the widow and Sunny, but she is unable to land a good blow. However, Sunny was able to kick her and hit her with a weapon a few times. After several minutes he is able to slice her in the ob area. The widow's down. Will she be able to escape? We quickly shoot back to Bale locking MK up while proceeding to kick at Tilda while she's laying on the ground. MK initially watches helplessly until he decides to cut himself. Just as Bale got a sword, MK with his signature move, opens the cell door with a huge gust of air, and propels Bale into a weapons holder, impaling his former friend. Both Sunny and the widow witness MK walk outside the cell with his black eyes. Tilda slowly backs away and Sunny lets her go, while he tries to see if MK has control yet. Tilda is able to help her mother get up, and they escape. When MK collapses again, Sunny tries to run and catch the butterflies, but it is too late. Someone's Baron is going to be pissed. Speaking of Quinn, we see him in another section close to where MK collapsed. Quinn looks shocked, but you can see the wheels turning in his head. Sunny attempts to pull a fast one on the River King by giving him Bale's head instead of MK's. For now the king believes it and tells Sunny they are leaving at midnight that night. Sunny runs over and tells Vale, who is on her way to the fort to treat Jade, who was poisoned in last episode. Sunny warns her that he may not be able to get her out if she goes. Vale then has the nerve to ask if Sunny killed her parents. The man told her that Quinn did it. Why is she asking again? Fortunately, she figured that Sunny just lied about being there versus actually killing them. Sunny is hoping things will be different once they leave, but Vale isn't too sure about that. Penrith's minion makes it the abbots to tell them about a dark one at the fort. He shows them MK's wanted picture. Silently, the abbots bring a chest to put in the trunk, then drive to the fort. At the house, Lydia is nursing Jade when she wakes up. Lydia doesn't know what happened to her. Quinn comes in and accuses Lydia of poisoning Jade, when Vale revealed that was what made Jade collapse. There was monkshood flour found at the fake bottom of Lydia's jewelry box. How convenient. When Lydia looked genuinely surprised, I suspected that maybe Jade did it to herself. Quinn then kicks Lydia out of the fort with the clothes on her back instead of killing her. Lydia looks at Jade, and Jade gives her a devious smirk, which confirmed it for me. Jade, you clever girl. Quinn is sorry to Jade because he didn't realize what Lydia was capable of when everyone was suspicious about Beatrice's death a long time ago. Jade has something to tell Quinn about Ryder. Speaking of Ryder, as Lydia is walking out of the fort surrounded by clippers, her son adds salt to the wound by not even feeling remotely sympathetic, and gives her the religious totems she worships. He refuses to help her prove Jade poisoned herself. I think Lydia does have the last word when she calls him a stupid petulant boy that wouldn't last a month without her. She held her head high as she walked into the forest. Ryder throws Sonny under the bus by saying that he had one of the set of keys into the dungeons. So that's how the widow was able to get in. He also mentions the meeting Sonny had with the widow where she attempted to bribe him way back in the first episode. I'm surprised Quinn so readily believed Ryder, considering Sonny has shown his loyalty for several years. Quinn has Ryder lock down the fort and has Sonny meet him at the chapel. He then asks about MK's pendant, especially since the widow wasn't clipped when she was there the previous night. He has Sonny stripped of his rank. Sonny reluctantly gives his sword to Quinn, and if looks could kill. Petrie has been promoted and brings MK in, as Sonny is escorted to the dungeons to await his fate. Quinn also orders his clippers to bring Vale to him. Brave MK is loyal by not spilling the beans about Sonny and himself. Quinn cryptically tells him that he has a bright future as they walk out of the chapel. Vale comes back to her place, packs, and sets her bag in a chair near the front of her place. Unfortunately, she is kidnapped? Initially you think that the Baron got her, but no. It was Tilda who borrowed her. Vale's medical services are needed to help the widow with her wound, which is now infected with septicemia, Tass blood poisoning. The widow looked rough smoking on that opium when Vale was brought in. She gives Vale her spiel about building a world where women have a voice. Vale agrees to help treat the widow on the promise the widow will let her go. After the widow revealed Sonny was the one that cut her, it was very timely that Vale started her exam. Speaking of Sonny, we see him chained up in the dungeon. Quinn walks in wondering where Vale is. Sonny threatens Quinn if he plans to kill her. Quinn knows about the baby. Did MK squeal after all? He wants Vale there so he can raise the baby like he raised Sonny. Quinn also reveals that he knows MK's secret. He thinks he is worth several clippers. Quinn gloats about adding tattoos to MK's back. Sonny warns him about when he gets out, Quinn will be the first person he clips. Penrith's prodigal daughter, Lydia, returns to the fold. Penrith at first denies her entry, but then makes her take vows, the most important one being to never leave again. I know she hesitated real brief about renouncing material possessions. She then gets prepared for a ceremony that night. Vale is finishing up stitching the widow's wound with Tilda assisting. Vale notices a bruise the widow's late husband left her. In order to guarantee that she gets back to her place, she puts 3 different colored vials down. One is tincture, the other 2 poison. She will tell which one has the tincture when she gets back. The widow warns her that she set things in motion so the world can be a better place without Quinn. The widow hopes that Sonny heeded her warnings. Quinn offers a deal to MK that would spare Sonny and bring Tilda to live with him in the fort. I'm thinking Petrie may have given Quinn that tidbit about Tilda. MK has to pretty much be molded by Quinn. MK agrees because he's probably thinking about Sonny, Vale, and the baby. I guess he figures if Tilda can be with him, it's all good. Ryder and Zypher meet up to exchange information. Ryder thinks tonight would be a good time to strike, because Quinn will be outside the fort unescorted except for a Colt. Zypher agrees to bring Jacoby with her so they could ambush Quinn, then she can kill Jacoby at the same time. Zypher wants to tell the widow, but Ryder advises against it since she was wounded. Back at the dungeons, Waldo visits Sonny. Petrie is manning the cell. Petrie attempts to stop Waldo from getting closer to the cell, and gets killed for his efforts. Waldo warns Sonny to take his girl, and get on that boat tonight, because it's about to go down. He tells him that the widow will be making a move to eliminate both Jacoby and Quinn. Sonny realizes that Waldo has been working with the widow, and is the traitor. Waldo's reasoning, the system is broken. We gotta blow it up, and start again. Well, Waldo is speaking some truth. He further reveals that he regretted bringing Sonny into the Clipper life. Sunny was apparently found with the same pendant as MK. Waldo tells Sunny where MK is, but warns him to forget him, and go. Tilda brings Vale far enough where she can go find her way back to town. Vale disapproves of the widow using girls like Tilda to kill for her. She suggests that Tilda chooses her own path by telling her that the blue bottle holds the tincture, while the other two holds poison. So Tilda gets to choose whether to kill the widow or let her live. Interesting. Quinn and MK arrive in the village near the dollhouse. The street appears deserted. MK can tell something is wrong. Quinn boldly calls out whoever is trying to clip him to show themselves. Jacoby's men slowly start appearing before Jacoby appears himself with Cypher. Quinn is pissed when Ryder also appears. I think Quinn believed his son wouldn't be that stupid to try to conspire against him. Quinn tells Ryder, there's no forgiveness after this. Ryder replies he doesn't want it. Oh well. Jacoby doesn't listen to Quinn's warning about the widow outmaneuvering everyone to get rid of them as barons. He cuts MK in the back, and slowly steps back. The others prepare to attack MK when he gets up, and he has his black eyes. Jacoby attacks first and gets thrown into a store. Quinn starts to try to escape when Sunny finds him. Sunny then stabs Quinn with a sword with these ominous words, "You're going to be my last tattoo." Sunny then walks away from a supposedly dying Quinn to see MK fighting the others. He manages to stop him from killing Ryder, who slunks away like the punk he is. I still have not seen this man actually fight. Sunny tries to talk to MK, who hits him with his signature move. A car pulls up then. It's the Abbots. Cypher then tries to take down MK from the ground but gets thrown into a wall. I really wish Cypher spoke with the widow before going through with the ambush. With a few well-placed hits, the Abbots are able to stop MK, making him collapse once again. One of them has MK on his shoulders when Sunny tells them that they will have to go through him to take the boy. All three Abbots attempt to get at Sunny, but it seems to be an even match. The Abbots then cheat by having their eyes turn black like MK's. They even make the atmosphere change before they transform. They pose before two of them hit Sunny in the chest and almost collapses by the car. He gets up though, and tries another attack with his sword, but the head Abbot turns around, and breaks Sunny's sword with his hands. No way. Then Sunny tries to attack again but gets surrounded by the Abbots who punch his body several times in a circle. Then the head Abbot hits him in the chest which throws him through a few walls. Sunny is out for the count? The Abbots turn back into their normal state and leave with MK by putting him a chest in the trunk of the car, and drive off. Someone finds Sunny though, but we don't know who it is yet. Lydia, dressed in like a white cloth, steps in a pool, dips herself, and gets hugged by her father. Tilda is back from dropping Vale off, and the widow accuses her of lying about MK. Tilda explains that she was trying to protect him from what the widow wanted to turn him into, a weapon. The widow explains that she wanted to save him, because she was like him once, special. Say what? Did the widow have the same power too? She asks Tilda which bottle is the tincture. Tilda hesitates. Back at the town, Vale finally arrives and finds Sunny's sword. Poor thing probably thinks her boo is dead. The next thing we see is a ship sailing away. Sunny wakes up tied up and collared. The River King comes in not happy about being double-crossed. As a consequence, Sunny is being traded. Uh-oh. Not good guys. MK wakes up in the chest and starts banging on it. We hear MK narrate about his and Sunny's journey just beginning. The last scene we see is MK stuck in the chest in a truck driving across open dried land, heading towards what looks like a city near the mountains. Poor thing started the season in a chest and ended the season in a chest. What a finale, guys. I'm looking forward to the second season. Vale, Sunny, and MK are separated from each other. How will Sunny get back to the Badlands? Will MK get training so he can control his powers? Will Tilda poison the widow? Is Quinn really dead? Do you think Vale found him? So many questions that will hopefully get answered in the second season. What did you think of the season? What do you want to see in the season 2? Comment below. Like and subscribe, so that you don't miss out.